All right, perfect. Testing, testing. We can hear my voice. All right, we can share my screen, entire screen. Share. All right, we are good. We are good to go. So what we'll do now is we'll take this, we'll pull it over here because we are live now. Awesome. And we're gonna test it first. All right, before I get into this guy's kind of funny. If y'all can hear me, uh, I was like knee deep, like 15 minutes into the episode, talking and had no clue y'all couldn't hear me on the Facebook page. But I'm pretty sure we're good now. Let me pull up the actual all right, that part as well. Okay, great. All right, awesome. Now let me share the link. Okay, so share this video link. Share it to my Facebook page. Allow. Sales bracket reveal show. All right, post it. Awesome. So now everyone should be able to see. Okay. All right. So what I need from the audience, I need everyone to go ahead and get into the YouTube chat, the live chat from YouTube, and confirm for me this time. Please confirm for me that you can. This is awesome. That you can hear my voice. I need someone to confirm that they can hear my voice and that they can see my screen. Let's see here. Tap to unmute. Awesome. So I can hear my voice. That's all that matters. All right. Let's see here. Is everyone in? All right. We're gonna try this. Before I actually start. All right. It looks like I got one person in now. Awesome. Hey, this is Quinzel Chestnut. We are live, and I think y'all can hear me this time. I also think y'all can see me. I also think y'all can see my screen this time. So uh, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the live chat if you can hear my voice. That's probably the most important part. I was dealing with some technical difficulties earlier with the actual built-in microphone of my computer, and it took me a while to figure that out. In order to bypass that, I'm actually going to talk through my headphones. I just need to know that you can hear me. Let's see, to the live chat. Can anyone hear me? All right, can anyone hear me this time? Come on, play Lawton. Hear me this time. This is going to be a fun show. I really need this to work tonight. Let's go. Can anyone hear me this time? Come on, y'all. Come on. I don't want to start this without you. Let's let's do this. Let's also let's take the same link. Are you on? Thank you. Uh oh, really? Okay. All right. There's no live chat for you. Hmm. Okay. All right. So let me figure that out. Can anyone else? So if y'all can't, okay, I'm gonna figure that out because we can't play trivia without the live chat. Let's see. More, and she's right. She's right, man. All right, so this is what we'll do. This is what we're gonna do. We are going to, despite all the testing issues that we're having right now, we're gonna proceed with the show. So let me, yeah. So let me go ahead and get the link. Put the link where everyone else can see it. And if you can access this directly through YouTube and not through Facebook, then that is the right answer. Um, Again, if you can access this directly through YouTube and not through Facebook, then that is indeed what you're going to want to do. Um, go here, and then I'm going to comment here. There. So I've also posted the YouTube link so you can access directly through YouTube. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that said, I got to go ahead and get started. Quite frankly, if we are unable to get anyone into the live chat, and let me actually try for my own YouTube. Can I get into the live chat from like my phone? Let's see here. Let's go to yep, there. Quinzel Chestnut. I am currently live, and when I click on it, Chestnut. Yep, I can get to the live chat. Here we go. And when I click on it, Quinzel Chestnut. Yep, I can get to the live chat. Here we go. Yep. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. So, the way that you're going to be able to interact today is you have to access it through. So here again, I'm done with Facebook. It's the last time I'll try to do this through Facebook. But if you access it through your YouTube app, so if you're opening this live session up through your YouTube app, you will be able to interact with me live during the show, during trivia, during the playoff reveal, and that is what we want. This is an interactive engagement, right? We want your voice to be heard. Like we want to hear your thoughts. And I can here's what I can promise you. All right. By the end of the show, I can promise you this. By the end of the show, I'm definitely going to let's see, let's share. Let me send this to the boss. Let's also do this. And let's do that. And then I need to make a quick announcement. The show is live at this link. And also some more who need to know how to get to the link. And then also one more person for sure. There. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have some. I got it. You know, most are going to be late, and that's fine. Here again, quick disclaimer: if you are just now logging on, that is fine. You haven't missed anything. Right? I've just the technical difficulties over the last hour. But in order to interact with me during the show in the live chat, you have to have been logged on via the YouTube app directly. You are not going to be able to interact in the live chat if you're accessing this through Facebook. Here again, just learned this no later than about 5 minutes ago. And so if you can take that link that I have posted and copy it and then open YouTube, or open YouTube and go from there, um, then you'll be able to interact with the chat. You'll be able to play all type of games, right? So the here again, not only the trivia game, which I play Lawton trivia. That's what I'm really looking forward to. But more importantly, you'll be able to interact during the show, right? That is what we want. The more interactive engagement, the better. I can make you this promise. By the end of the show, I always go back in all my podcasts, go back and see what everyone put in the live chat. I actually have to in order to especially for trivia. But hey, welcome. So I'm Quinzel Chestnut. I am the league ambassador for Play Lawton, and I am excited to bring you the very first ever Play Lawton podcast. Very first ever Play Lawton podcast. By the way, as you are logging in, go ahead, do me a favor, and put something in the chat, right? Put something in the chat letting me know that you are here. That'll definitely help me know that right, that all that feedback is perfect. All right, thanks, Dad. That my dad is in the chat. All right, that is awesome. So, all right, so I know the chat works. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the 2025 Playoff Bracket Reveal Show, brought to you by Eastern Sports Management, ESM. So if you didn't already know, right, so Eastern Sports Management, based out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, has youth sports leagues in over 12 cities across the country. And Lawton just happens to be one of those cities. So we Play Lawton, we fall under ESM, Eastern Sports Management. And so big shout out to ESM for allowing this to happen. They actually approved for us to test out this idea, right? This is the very first time in the history of our city that we have been approved to generate our own sports talk show, down at the elementary school and middle school level, right? It's never happened in the history of our city before, which matters a lot to me, right? So as someone who grew up here 4.5 years of my childhood, I went to Alamo West Elementary School. I played football, played basketball, right, for my school. This mattered to me. My dad was my coach for both basketball and football, and I can tell you that if we would have had something like this, and I'm sure he would say the same, it would have just taken the overall experience to an entirely different level. Well, now here we are 25 years later, and I feel like we are blessed with an opportunity to do exactly that, and we wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for ESM. So thank you for letting us try this out, right? We'll get the feedback. We'll find out shortly whether or not the city loves it, whether they hate it, whether we're going to keep it, whether we're going to keep going. But the overall vision is more active engagement, right? More operational transparency. This platform is an opportunity for us, the organization, to share with you what we're thinking, why we've made some of the decisions we made, right? But more importantly, it's an opportunity for you. That's the biggest part, for you to engage with us, give us your thoughts. Hey, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? How can we get better? What ideas, right? Here again, I have a saying, never let a good failure go to waste, right? Failure isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're leveraging it as an opportunity of growth, right? So where do we as an organization, as Play Lawton, where are the opportunities of growth? If you had your say, right, you as a player, as a coach, as a parent, as an administrator, right, as a referee, as an umpire, if you had your way, what would we do different next season that we didn't do this season? This is your opportunity to voice all that right here in the live chat, because we're going to go back. We're going to review everything. We want to know what the city is thinking as we're engaging. So that said, let's go. All right. So Play Lawton. So now let me introduce the top four, right? So first and foremost, I have to start with our general manager, Will Miller, right? Big shout out to Will. He is our overall general manager. He has that burden of leadership on his shoulders, right? Everything Play Lawton does or fails to do falls on his shoulders. And so I genuinely appreciate him for bringing me onto his team. He is our leader. We follow him. We believe in him. And quite frankly, if it wasn't for him, here again, his interaction with ESM, things like this would not be possible. So Will, thank you for this. And I'm sure you'll let me know what you think after the show. We also have Chachi, right? So I consider Chachi what I would say the second in command, right? Chachi has been here longer than both me and Emily combined. And Chachi, if you know anything about Play Lawton, if you've been around Play Lawton, then you've been around Chachi. You already know who he's the man that doesn't need a huge introduction because, quite frankly, Play Lawton runs through him. He's Mr. Everything. Quite right. That's the honest to God truth. And so, but not big shout out to Chachi though, because not only is he doing so much behind the scenes for the administration and for the organization, he's also still engaged coaching down at the team level, right? So, I had an opportunity to interview him yesterday, and just to hear how active he is with Hugh Bish Elementary School, it was inspirational. Right? I just told y'all, Alma West Elementary School. I'm my wife and I. So most of y'all know me as Coach Q. Know my wife as Coach April. My wife and I, we coach. So Bishop, right? Bishop Public School. We coach 6U and 8U basketball. Also 6U flag football. That means a lot to us, representing the Bishop community. Chachi is the same way with Hugh Bish. And then here again, hearing him talk about it last night, it was truly inspirational. So we'll touch on that a little later. And then lastly, Emily Locke. Man, Emily has been nothing but gracious, accepted me onto the team, right, as the fourth member of the team. She's our other programs coordinator, and she's handling a lot of the things behind the scene as well, right? She is Mrs. Everything. She, from schedules to, she's out there scorekeeping. Chachi as well. I'm, just regulating. And so, again, I see my role as the league ambassador twofold, right? So here's what is the league ambassador? It's two things. Number one, I am your representative. That's the first thing. If you are a player in this league, if you are a coach in this league, if you are a referee, an umpire, I am your representative. I am your voice. Right. So you can reach out to me at any given time right there. You see the email address, experience@playlawton.com. You can reach out to me at any given time because it is my responsibility to leverage whatever your thoughts are, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever your thoughts are. It's my responsibility to voice that using a platform like this so we can grow. Right. It's all about growth. It's all about enhancing the overall experience of the player, of the coach, of the parent, of the family members, of the referees, of the administrators. That's what it's about. And also, as the league ambassador, I am the primary advisor to the top three. So I just introduced to you the top three. That is them. And quite frankly, I am beyond blessed to be a part of the team. So let's drive forward. Now, here's how this works. So in every podcast I've been a part of in the past, we always start off with a quote of the week, right? An inspirational quote of the week. So today's quote, the Play Lawton quote of the week is, "It is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change." Let that sink in at every level, at every level. So for us, Play Lawton at the organizational level, we're not going to change everything overnight. It's impossible, right? Not saying we're doing bad, not saying we're doing good, but it's impossible to change everything overnight. But the small steps matter. Every step matters towards lasting change, towards lasting impact. Let's say, take it down to the team level, right? Let's say you win some games, you lose some games, you go 5-3, right? You end your season with a record of 5-3. Some things you don't want to change, some things you want to sustain. But the things that you want to improve, you're not going to be able to improve all those things overnight. But it starts in practice with the little things, with paying attention to the details, right? If you're a player, if you missed a free throw in a basketball game or dropped a pass in a football game or you struck out and you gave it your best, hey, the next time we go to DBAT, right? The next time we from an individual perspective, you don't have to be around your teammates to practice. It starts with the little things. It's the small steps that make the lasting impact. So that is our inspirational Play Lawton quote of the week. So let's get started with the fun part. Now, because this is the first episode, we are only going to do one trivia question today. But typically in the future, this is what you're going to experience. So we normally do about 3 trivia questions sprinkled in throughout the episode is normally how we do it. But today we're only going to do one for the sake of time and, with all the technical difficulties. So, all right. So here are the rules associated with it. In the chat, if you are logged into the chat, you have to be logged into the chat from YouTube in order to participate, in order to win the prize. All right. So here are the rules. Number one, you have to be the very first person to answer the question correctly in the chat. That we can see, right? Because we have a history of the chat. But it's not just the correct answer. You owe three different things. So you owe what the answer is. You also owe who you are. You have to state who you are and which team you're representing. I'm Quinzel Chestnut. I'm representing the Bishop Bulldogs, right? And if you're not representing a team, if you don't have a specific team or organization you're associated with, that's fine. Then say that, right? I'm Joe Snuffy and I just love play Lawton. But you have to say something, right? You have to say something. And then last but not least, you have to say what your relationship to that team is. So, hey, my name is Sarah Chestnut, and I'm the first baseman for the Diamond Dogs, right? So, or my name is Brenda Chestnut, and I'm Sarah's grandmother. Go Bishop, right? But what is your relationship to that team? You have to include all three in your answer in order to get credit for being overall right with the trivia question. That is the key. That's absolutely the key, right? And then at the end of the show, we identify through the chat, we identify who wins the overall award. And the next time you come back to one of our games, you will get a free drink with the purchase of a snack, right? So you have to purchase a snack, but you'll get a free drink at the concession stand. As long as, here again, but we got to be able to identify who you were. So that is how trivia works. And we're actually going to go ahead and get started right now. So let's do this. All right. So trivia question number 1. All right. So for 6U, although the 6U T-ball season is not over, we have a lot of, we do have some more games left to play, I think on Tuesday. There are some teams that are already a lock for the playoffs for 6U T-ball. The question is, how many teams have already sealed their playoff spot? Is it A, 3? Is it B, 2? Is it C, 5? Or is it D, 6? Remember, so I'm not gonna show what the answer is yet. But remember, I gotta see you put in all three in the chat. So what's the answer? Who you are? What team you're representing? What's your relationship? I'm looking at the chat now. Looking at the chat now. Someone put in the chat. Someone put it in the chat. I'm waiting. I can't show y'all the answer until someone. All right, this is Sue Hayes, Mama the Maverick. Hey, Sue. 6U Bishop Bulldogs. Hey, Sue. Sue, what's the answer? What's your answer? What are we going to do? Is it 3, 2, 5, or 6? Did she say? Okay, no, she gave. Okay, April Chestnut, my wife, she said 6, but she did not put in the chat who she is, even though I know she is, right? But she has to put in all 3. Will Miller, I'm with Clay Lawton, I think 2. Okay, all right. April says Sarah, and she says C. Okay. Sue says I think it's 3. Okay. All right, keep going, y'all. Keep going. Anybody else? I'm about to reveal the answer. Give everybody about 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is 6. The answer is 6. There are actually 6 teams that are already a lock for the playoffs for 6U. And this scenario is crazy. So I've been pumped all day to get to this part of the show. So let's do it. So let's reveal. This is what it looks like. So congratulations to everyone in green. What? You know what? My bad, y'all. My bad. You know what? I didn't even give y'all the right answer. That's what happens, right? So the answer is 7. The answer changed right before the show started, based on the math. Originally, this is ironic. We actually thought my son's team. So my son actually plays for Bishop Red, and we thought, based on the math, my son's team was not a lock because technically, Woodland Hills Black can jump them with their last game. However, it's actually 7. So we'll still get the free drink. We'll find out who everybody. It's on me. We're gonna get the free drink, y'all. Don't panic. I'll go see who actually participated, and I'll make sure I take care of everyone who actually participated. That'd be my way to get back since I messed this part up. But let's go ahead and talk about the scenario because there's a lot to unpack here. There is so much to unpack here. So let's start out. Let's just go in order, right? Let's just go in order. So first of all, there's a lot of tiebreakers. So let's start out with Freedom. So Freedom has played their final game, and they're already number 9. So unfortunately, there's nothing they can do in order to go up. And even if Woodland Hills, the Lion Littles, right? So the Lions, even if they lose, Freedom cannot jump them. And the reason Freedom can't jump them is because they played head to head. So that is the part on DaySmart that I need everyone to remember, that even if you see on the website one team above another team in the standings, you have to still refer back to the rule book. The website does not calculate head to head. It only calculates point differential. We as an organization still have to abide by the head to head rule. So if there is a tie between two teams, the first, after the winning percentage tie, the first tiebreaker is a head to head matchup. And if you've played head to head more than once, then the next tiebreaker is the head to head run differential. Those are the first 2 tiebreakers. If there's no common games between the two of you, then it goes to point differential. That is the 4th tiebreaker. That's key. That is key to understand in all these tiebreaker scenarios that wind up playing out. But first and foremost, like I said, let's congratulate the 7 teams, not 6, right? The 7 teams that are a lock for the playoffs. So number 1, congratulations to the undefeated Bad News Buffaloes. Undefeated season. Quite frankly, that is impressive, and you all you absolutely deserve to feel good right now. Like that is phenomenal. To the Dogs. So you have a tiebreaker between the Dogs and Flower Mound Sheffield. That tiebreaker happened. So let's go ahead and get ahead of this. For those of you that saw that Flower Mound had 8 games, there are times where if you have an odd number of teams in your league, it is mathematically impossible for everyone to play the same amount of games. Someone has to get an extra game in order for it to play out. Mathematically, this is the fact. So understanding that, Lawton reached out and informed that team, like, hey, your last game will not count. Whether you win it or lose it, it will not count for you. It will only count for the other team because they have to play their 7th game. So it doesn't matter whether you win or lose or not. You just have to play. And so understanding that, so yes, they did have 8 games, but shave off that last game, bring those down to 7 when they played the Bad News Buffaloes, right? And so their final record is still 6-1 as a tie. Now, that said, the tiebreaker between Flower Mound Sheffield and the Dogs, they did play head to head. They play head to head, and I'm trying to remember that the game itself was I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago. But the Dogs won the game is the bottom line. And so that head-to-head matchup, point differential does not matter. You see they have 54 over the 51, but the head-to-head overrules that. So that is the scenario there. Now let's talk about the tiebreakers towards the bottom, though. So we're going to start with Lion Littles. So here's the scenarios. The Lion Littles, even though the season isn't over, they can lose their last game to Flower Mound Missy, and they would still be a lock for the playoffs as the 8th seed. That loss, if they did lose, would move the Gators down. I'm sorry, it would move the Gators up. So if they lost, the Gators and Bishop Red would jump them. So Gators would then be number 7, and Bishop Red would be number 6. So that's that. So now Bishop Red only has 2 scenarios. The lowest scenario is the 8th seed. So in the event that Woodland Hills Black beats Pioneer Park by 23 runs or more, it may sound like a bizarre scenario, but it is mathematically possible. The most amount of runs you can win by rule in 6U T-ball is 30. So it is mathematically possible. So if Woodland Hills Black beats Pioneer Park by 23 or more, then Bishop Red would drop down to the 8th seed, but that is the lowest that they could possibly drop. And also, if the Lion Littles lose to Flower Mound Missy, then the highest Bishop Red could potentially rise is the sixth seed. But that is it. That is the range. They are either going to be 6, 7, or 8. They can't drop any lower or rise any higher than that. Gators, here's their scenario. This is why they're on the bubble. They're currently right now at the 8th seed. They can rise as high as the 7th seed, or they could potentially drop out down to the 9th seed. And that is because of the Woodland Hills Black situation. This is what I wanted to unpack with everyone. Then we'll move on to the playoff scenario. So Woodland Hills Black, number one, like I said, they have to play Pioneer Park, right? And I got it, Pioneer Park. Hey, we see they haven't won a game. That is fine. It's any given day, right? This is Lawton, Oklahoma. It's any given day. It can happen. But if you presume, right, if you want to make a prediction and say, okay, no, we think they're going to win that game. Let's say that is the case. Then here's the scenario. They will jump Freedom based on head-to-head because they beat Freedom already back on the 20th, and the score was like 13-2. Freedom couldn't jump up anyway, but they would definitely jump Freedom. They cannot jump the Lion Littles, though, because they did play and they lost head-to-head back on the 14th, 11-8. So they cannot get above the Lion Littles. They have not played Bishop Red or the Gators. So there is no tiebreaker, head-to-head tiebreaker between them and Bishop Red. So now this is where point differential comes into play. So if they were to beat Pioneer Park by 10 runs or more, they will jump the Gators and seal their spot in the playoffs as the number 8 seed. That is all that they have to win the game by 10 or more. That's it. If they win the game, right, but it's less, and they're unable to jump the Gators, they'll move up to 9, but the Gators have a hanging on the balance, but there's nothing they can do. They have to wait to see what Woodland Hills Black does against Pioneer Park on the 27th. That is the scenario that we are that we have here in 6U. So there's going to be a lot of people at that game. Man, that's intriguing. That's actually just the math associated with this was fun to watch. So, okay, now let's move on to 8U softball standings. All right, as of yesterday. So congratulations to those who made it, and also, hey, listen, congratulations to those who didn't. All right, great season. Way to stick in there. So first and foremost, let's talk about Geronimo. Geronimo just finished an undefeated season at the 8U level, and played some really dominant games. Also had some close ones, right? So this is one of those. I will tell you that not only in this league, but throughout today's episode, here's the trend you're going to see. You're going to predict that the 1 versus 4 seeds, especially for the leagues that only 4 teams get to make it, depending on how big the league is. If only 4 teams make it, the 1 versus 4, you're probably going to predict like, okay, one is going to seal the deal, right? They're undefeated. They're a powerhouse, not just in this scenario, but also you'll see some other scenarios as well. But throughout the day, this is what you're going to see. The 2 versus 3 matchups that we have brewing, the storylines behind these matchups are crazy. There's even one matchup where they did play head-to-head in the regular season and it ended in a tie. Like, those are going to be thrillers. So, but congratulations to Geronimo. All right. And here again, we'll break down the matchups here shortly. Now, the Diamond Dogs, Bishop Diamond Dogs, I am actually connected to the Diamond Dogs, right? My daughter, Sarah, plays for the Diamond Dogs. Congratulations. They finished the season at 5-2. You have locked in the 2nd seed with a record of 5-2. Chatty was one of the teams who actually beat the Diamond Dogs. So they beat the number 2 seed early in the regular season, but they finished at 4-3. Why is that? So remember, they had an 8th game. Their 8th game does not count. So that last win, here again, it does not count for that team who's playing the 8th game. It only counts for the team who's playing their 7th game. That is why their record is 4-3. And then last but not least, Woodland Hills made it in at the 4th spot at 3-4. Now, so let's look at the bracket, the matchups that we were saying earlier. So on Tuesday, right, game 1 All games will be at Eastside Park, right? So game one on Tuesday will be Geronimo versus Woodland Hills, right? That's your 1-4 matchup. But you remember I just told you, Chatty and Diamond Dogs, they matched up. This was like less than like a week or so ago. They matched up. Chatty actually won that game, and it was a thriller. That game came down to the wire. So that 2 versus 3 matchup is going to, here again, I cannot imagine what this environment is going to be like, but I am all for it. And then 2 days later, the winner of those 2 games will meet in the city championship, right? Thursday night, 6 p.m., same field, right? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Let's enjoy it, y'all. Let's enjoy it. All right. So congratulations to everyone for 6U and now for 8U softball. Let's move on to the next league. 10U softball. Let's go. So for 10U, all right. So Elevate finishes their season at 6-1, while the Lawton Lady Rangers also finished their season at 6-1. Now, so here's the thing: I had an opportunity to interview some coaches yesterday, right? And so one of the so Coach Taylor Sheffield, she was one. She has a million teams that she coaches, by the way. Her programs are they are dominant in every single sport. Now you take it back to basketball, but I will tell you one of the things that she talked about in the interview yesterday was the consistency, right? So the consistency and the work ethic and the approach every single day in practice. So one of the questions I like to ask when I'm interviewing is, hey, what were the keys to success, and now what are your focus points moving forward as you're posturing yourself for the playoffs? And so they have a great matchup coming up here again. That 2 versus 3 matchup it's going to be insane, right? So you have Chachi. So I told y'all about Chachi, right, and what he means to Hugh Bish. That matchup is going to be insane. Now, I also want to give. I told y'all about Coach Sheffield. Let me tell you about Chachi. Chachi said something to me last night in the interview that I think every single young athlete needs to learn from. So when I interviewed him and I asked him, what are your key factors moving forward? He talked about this word called trust. And I thought it was phenomenal because here again, as an officer in the United States Army, we actually wrote doctrine on what Army leadership looks like, right? And the foundation of what we call mission command, the foundational principle is building a cohesive team that's based on mutual trust. I have to trust you. You have to trust me. But that's just not in the military. That's in every aspect of life to include sports. And so when he talked about trust last night, the pitcher has to be able to trust that the catcher, right, is going to catch that ball. The catcher has to be able to trust when she's trying to throw someone out that first baseman is going to catch it. You have to be able to trust that your outfielders are absolutely paying attention. And the more we trust each other, the more cohesive of a team we start to be, right? Our performance level starts to rise. Man, Chachi, he was preaching last night, and he had me fired up. And so having had an opportunity to interview both coaches, knowing how electric that matchup is about to be, is it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I'm here again. I'm all for it. And then last but not least, the Sigmas. Hey, congratulations! A 4-4 season. You're in the playoffs, right? Any given day, you have an opportunity to knock off Elevate, right? Knock off Elevate, knock off the #1 seed. But congratulations to all teams that made it. Also, hey, congratulations to those who didn't, right? So my oldest daughter plays for the Diamond Divas 10U, my oldest daughter, Noelle. Congratulations also to the Wild Ones and the Wolfpack. Hey, great seasons. Here's the thing about Lawton, right? Yes, everybody wants to win. Everyone wants to make the playoffs. Everybody wants to win championships. The thing about, here again, the life lessons that you learn from these experiences, the internal growth that you get from these experiences, that matters more. Those are life lasting. So again, congratulations to each team, and you have your bracket, right? So there's your matchups. You have Friday. So these are going to happen on Friday. Here again at Eastside Park, right? Field 3, and then your city championship game. So Friday the 30th, by the way. Your city championship game will be on Monday, June 2nd, right? Eastside Park, Field 3. It is going to be electric. It is absolutely going to be electric. Let's move on to the next league. So we have, all right, 12U softball, all right, undefeated season, Misfits. I will tell you. So I got an opportunity to also interview their head coach. Awesome guy to talk to. Very inspirational leader. His poise was inspirational, and he also through consenting with the parent, I also got a chance to interview his catcher, right? One of the players. So young athletes out there, remember, this is your opportunity. So not only is it my responsibility to come around and interview you after your game, right? Assuming you do have to get permission from your parents. That's the first thing I want to say. Parents have to consent if you are a minor to be interviewed in any capacity, on camera or off camera. But also, you have an opportunity in the future to be a guest on the show. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, this is your opportunity to do so. We'll bring you onto the show if you want to be on camera and talk about your experience, right? Talk about what this means to you, what the game meant to you, what your focus points were, as you were preparing for that playoff game, right? So it's not just for coaches. It is not just for the players, right? Anyone can come onto the show and be a guest on the show and talk about their experience because this is for the city. Please remember that. This is for the city. I see someone in the chat. It's my wife. So she asked, how many teams are in 6U? The answer is 19. 19 teams total were in 6U. 8 will make the playoffs. So that said, now, hey, so here again, Misfits, congratulations. Dominant season. You showed your dominance throughout the season. And quite frankly, there's something to be said about that level of dominance. It's about the consistency, though, right? When you talked to me in there in an interview and you talked about the consistency in practice, I'm telling you, it reminded me of everything that my wife and I have tried to instill into the Bishop Bulldogs. Right? We just came off of really good seasons with our basketball teams, and quite frankly, it wasn't about just competing for a city championship. That just happens to be a byproduct at the end. It was about what we did at practice every single day, right? When we're running suicides back and forth, hey, touch the line. Don't try to cheat it. It's about consistency, the little things. And that's what leads to the reward at the end. So, Coach, I absolutely commend you. We're in your corner. Keep up that dominance. Congratulations to Elevate. All right. So Elevate, you are in at the number 2 spot. You are gonna match up with Spark Elite, all right, with Spark Elite. And also congratulations to Oklahoma Bison, right? So I will tell you, the Oklahoma Bison have a storyline. Do not just assume that just because congratulations to the Bombers and Knife Girls. We don't want to skip over them. But as we look at the playoff bracket, let's not assume, right? So let's not assume that just because the Bison are 2-5, that automatically means they're going to get, dominated and put out, right, by the powerhouse, the Misfits, because the Bison played a wonderful game this past week. So they weren't poised to make the playoffs. They were 1-5. But the way they showed up in this last game that they played makes for a very interesting storyline. Right? Let me tell you that. So go back. If you want, don't take my word for it. Go back, look at DaySmart, look at what the standings were, right? There's a reason they snuck into the playoffs at the last moment. Big kudos to them, right? Let's see them perform. Let's see them perform. All right. And but here again, I told y'all what the trend was. These 2-3 matchups, my Lord. The Elevate versus Spark matchup is lights, camera, action. It's Hollywood, right? So Coach Cassie, here again, got a chance to interview her. Here again, she's another one of those coaches who has a lot of teams, right? That she's a part of or connected to or coaching. Definitely another prominent figure in our city for sure, like hands down. And so when I got a chance to interview her, one of the things I will definitely say that was inspiring is when she talked about not just what competing means to her and her team. She actually talked about what play Lawton means to her and her family. And that touched me. It did. It's as someone who's brand new to the Play Lawton family, trying to give back to the city. When she talked about how her family an athletic family, family of athletes, and quite frankly, in order for them to stay engaged and stay active, they do it through sports. Sports is their way. And Play Lawton, here again, living in Lawton, Play Lawton, it has provided that avenue. When she talked about it, it's like, wow. And the reason that's so inspirational, let me make this part clear, is I'm sure y'all would agree. Play Lawton, like any organization, we're not perfect, right? We're not perfect. We're looking for opportunities to grow, but it's not like we're going to get it right every single time. But to hear someone on the positive note say, hey, listen, regardless of those opportunities of growth, just keep going. That was her message at the end of that interview. Just keep going because it matters for the city. And that's the type of positivity that we're trying to spread throughout the city. So, Coach Cassie, thank you. Big kudos to you. And good luck. Good luck in your matchup with Elevate on that Tuesday, right? So now let's move forward to baseball side of the house. So AU baseball. This is actually the fastest league of the show because they're already. This is not a secret for anyone. Excuse me. This is not a secret. They're already in their championship round. So their playoffs had already started. So congratulations to all teams, first and foremost. But let's go ahead and look. So this is a situation where the number 1 and number 2 teams made it all the way, right? So you have the Dogs who came in as the number 1 seed. They acquired that first round bye, and then the Geronimo Braves as well. Number 2 seed got that first round bye, so they did not have to play in the quarterfinals. They were able to skip straight to the semifinals, and they both won those games. Now, that said, so here again, you got to remember, all these games were close, though. So that's why the electricity is so high right now. It's one thing when you have a powerhouse like the Misfits, and you've just been blowing everybody out. But even when the top seeds are playing close games, that is what draws the crowds. That's what draws the energy. That's what, here again, lights, camera, action. That's what the city needs. So that city championship game on Tuesday is going to be electric. If y'all can make it over to 17th and G, right, go support. Hey, 8U baseball, go support them. That's going to be electric. Let's move on to 10U baseball, right? So 10U baseball, another undefeated team. Yep. So again, I've said this over and over and over again. You can assume if you want. I wouldn't count the Oklahoma Bison out if I were you, but you could assume, right? They're undefeated. They're undefeated for a reason. Dominant powerhouse. Congratulations to the Yard Goats, right? Dominant powerhouse. If they do make it past the Oklahoma Bison, right, rightfully so, hey, they will continue that stretch of dominance. But that 2-3 matchup, I told y'all, these 2-3 matchups in the playoffs, these are insanely wild. Like just the narratives behind them. When they played each other in the regular season, how close the games were. If I'm not mistaken, I'll go back and check. I think this is the one where when they played each other, yes, this is the one. So when they played each other in the regular season, they tied. So which way do you go? You can't say, oh, well, the 2 seed is the higher seed. We're predicting the 2 seed to win. They played each other already. And when they did, it was a tie game. I think the score was like 5-5. That's how close these games are. That's how electric these games are. It is insane. So that said, so here's what that looks like, right? So here's what that looks like. You have the 1-4 matchup, right? So the Yard Goats will go first, but then at 7:30, prime time. All right. So that 2-3 matchup is going to be insane. Here again, I know I've said it over and over again. I can't say it enough. It's going to be insane. Let's get out and support here again. If you can make it over to 17th and G, let's make it out and support Thursday night, May 29th, prime time. If you want to catch the first game as well, here again, Yard Goats against the Oklahoma Bison, right? The 1-4 matchup at 6 p.m. The city championship game will be the very next day, right? So that Friday night, here again, prime time, 7:45, and that game will be on field 5, not field 4. All right, and then we have 12U baseball, right? So our oldest youth group, 12U baseball, right? So congratulations to another powerhouse, right? So the Unicorns, undefeated, 7-0. That seems to be the trend, right? It seems to be the trend. You have these dominant powerhouses who are just running through, their competition. Kudos to not just the players, but also the coaching staff. It takes consistency. It takes commitment. right? To dominate with that long of a stretch. But here again, I've said it before, and we should not just assume, shouldn't just assume that that automatically means the dogs can't give them a run for their money, right? You shouldn't assume it. So, and then, but here again, that matchup between the Big Deal and the Renegades, right here, that's prime time, prime time. So that said, congratulations to all teams from on the youth side of the house. Now, before we wrap up the show tonight, let's go to the adult side of the house. So our adult league has 11 teams. Their season is longer, though. So their season is longer. And so, sorry, y'all. That's my son out there. So they play a total of 10 games. So we actually don't have a playoff breakdown or a playoff prediction yet because their season is longer. But congratulations. Right now, FTC Reloaded is primed right now. They are primed to go undefeated, right? That's the trend. Most of our leagues have at least one undefeated powerhouse. And right now, that looks to be FTC Reloaded. Let's see if they finish the job. Let's see if they finish the deal. And then in our next episode, we'll have the playoff breakdown for them as well. So that said, this is the Play Lawton podcast. This is the very first episode, right? Historic event for the city, for everyone who did have an opportunity to log in, for every coach that took the time to come out and be interviewed. All right. Shout out to the Gators, Gators 6U coaches, that coaching staff. I was able to interview all three of them, right? That their storyline is so compelling. I mean, how they were friends beforehand and then decided, just to come together and use their friendship to come together and coach a youth sports organization. It was so phenomenal. So I really appreciate their time as well. If you gave me your time and you're ready to be a guest on the show, hit me up, experience@playlawton.com. We are going to try to do this moving forward, but give me your feedback. Tell us how you feel, either in the email, in the chat. Let us know what you think. This has been the Play Lawton podcast. I'm Quinzel Chestnut, your league ambassador, right? And we are in playoff season.